What's going on, everybody? Welcome to HonkyTonk Tuesday. Hope everybody's doing good. See, people already been tuning in. We got let's see, Brandon, what's up? Debbie, Ann, Kevin, Miss Judy, happy birthday, Debbie. Felicia, Mrs. Gary Allen. He's got a new single out. How is everybody doing? Hope you all have been well. Had a great weekend and happy to be back. We're going to start this off with today. Today, I was calling a bunch of my friends at radio and got to talking about David Lee Murphy, and he's a good friend of ours, but also one of the best songwriters and singers. And so it got me listening to some David Lee Murphy on the way back in the Jeep. So let's kick her off. She couldn't keep from crying. Scotland, what's up? She told me goodbye. Well, I knew, Lord, it was breaking her heart. She was breaking mine. So for the sake of her feelings and the sake of my pride, I told her not to worry about me. I'm sitting here soaking up neon light misery, looking for some company, and tonight I'm looking for a party crowd, slamming them back, laughing out loud where the smoke's so thick, blues can't hang around. And that jukebox is jumping like it just don't care if they're dancing over here or fighting over there. I'm making rounds and looking for a party crowd. Dawn on me tomorrow, wherever I wake up, I'll look back, try to recall where the hell's my truck. So take my keys and lock them up tight. Let the good times roll. Yeah, I'll worry about tomorrow when it comes to time. Night's still young. Oh, I'm on a roll, and tonight I'm looking for a party crowd, slamming them back, laughing out loud where the smoke's so thick, blues can't hang around. And that jukebox is jumping like it just don't care if they're dancing over here, fighting over there. I'm making rounds and looking for a party crowd. Yeah, I'm making the rounds and looking for a party crowd. David Lee Murphy. I know we got some party people up in here. What are y'all drinking, hanging out? Where are y'all at? I see people from Scotland, Virginia Beach, Florida. Miss Misty, hope you're doing good. Scott, you call me anytime, man. So this is one of my other all-time favorite songs from back in the day. This song, Earl Thomas Conley is one of my favorite artists, and Gary Allen did a version of this song on a record of his, and been one of those songs I always felt if it came out today, it would still be a big hit. I feel like it was one of those songs that was written, and just the way Earl Thomas Conley obviously sings it, just one of those songs I feel like would really stand out even today, no matter, kind of like Party Crowd. But it's one of my favorites. And we're going to bring my buddy Ray Scott up. Y'all got any questions, requests, comment? I'll let them know. Talking to the mirror, whispering your name, just like you were here. Think I was insane. Hold these conversations the silence of my room, rehearsing all the things I'd say should I run into you. How's it going? Might be what I'd say. You broke my heart, you know, where it looks like rain today. Oh God, I missed you since you went away. You're looking well, go to hell, might be what I say. There's times I've been so angry, put my fist right through the wall. And then there's times I've come so close, giving you a call. I love you and I hate you, all at the same time. I pray that you come back to me before I lose my mind. How's it going? Might be what I'd say. You broke my heart, you know, it looks like rain today. Oh God, I missed you since you went away. You're looking well, go to hell, might be what I'd say. You're looking well, go to hell, might be what I'd say. Some old ETC. If y'all ain't on that, y'all need to go check out everything Earl Old Thomas Conley ever did. Y'all, I'm pumped to have my buddy Ray on here. We got to see each other a few weeks ago at Cahoots, all in benefiting our buddy Troy Gentry's foundation. And we're up there with some friends of ours, Jeff Carson, T. Graham Brown, Colin Ray, Craig Campbell was there. There's a bunch of us there. It was a good time. Anyway, Ray was kind enough to jump on here, and I'm excited to bring him on. So y'all welcome my buddy, Mr. Ray Scott. What's up, man?
How you doing, dude?
Good. You too, man. Appreciate you.
Hell yeah.
Where you at right now? You at the house?
I'm at the house, man. I'm in the man cave.
I was about to say, it looks like a solid place to hang out, judging by the sign.
Yeah, man. Well, I got this sign custom made. That was a gift from a fan a couple of years ago, man. One of the coolest things I ever had. So I always got to put this in the background, even when I'm on a phone. You know, obviously it's backwards right now, so you know, makes you look at it a little bit harder, though. You know?
Fans get creative on gifts, man. I wish I got that creative with my family, but
no, dude, man. I mean, some of them are great at it. It blows my mind. I'm the same way, dude. I can barely think of anything to give my wife, you know.
Well, dude, man, when I talked to you last, you said you were being able to play some acoustic shows, working on new music. What else been happening during this time?
Yeah, you know, man, just hey, just like everybody else, just figuring out life, kind of whatever the new normal is or whatever it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know, as you can attest to, our whole lives have been sort of shaken up and turned upside down as far as getting out and working, you know. So you know, I started doing a little live stream myself on just about every week. You know, sometimes we have to skip it for one reason or another. But, you know, it's been a great kind of connector for me, you know, because I wasn't doing a regular live stream on Facebook or anywhere else before late March, I guess. I'm about to do, I guess, my 23rd show maybe tomorrow. You know, so that's been cool.
What do you call it?
It's called Rave in the Cave, R-A-Y-V-E, in the cave, you know. And we just, you know, it's me and my buddy Joe Cook who picks guitar with me, man. I just kind of let folks hit me up every week with requests. You know, most of it's for my old songs. You know, I've got a little bit of a catalog, you know, behind me. So, but they ask for covers too, and so we'll do some. A lot of stuff that I haven't done before. So, you know, I get homework. And,
I was just about to tell you that, man. I feel like I'm with these streams, man. I feel like I'm back playing bars in my hometown. I'm learning new songs every weekend, or trying to like keep up. And
oh, dude, I got a stack of lyrics an inch thick by now. You realize you know these songs, but you don't know them enough to sit down and do them justice. So,
absolutely,
so yeah, man, I've probably done more practicing with that than I have on my own stuff in years.
We're going to be coming out of this. Everybody like, man, how'd they get better with not playing any shows?
That's right, man. You got to muscle. If you use that muscle, it gets stronger. So
it does, man. Well, hey, man, we got some requests on here. Happening, or I tell you what, if you want to kick us off, man, whatever you're feeling.
Well, man, you know, I'll tell you. I mean, I put an EP out back in February, right before all this hit. So I hadn't really been able to promote it very much. But you know, I'm a big old school guy. You know, I was really influenced by a lot of the guys back in the '70s. You know, Don Williams was a big influence on me. And I love Don. And I wrote this song kind of with his style in mind. This is on my record that's out now. It's called Nowhere Near Done, but this song's called Better As I Go.
Awesome, man.
I've never been that good, being good. A handful of X-Lash. I can lay a heart to wait, but I learned from my mistakes. I hope I'm getting better as I go. Whiskey is a demon I've been arrested. More than once it's had me on the road. Put it down, I picked it back up. I won't lie, man, it's been tough. I'm getting better as I go. There's a reason she waits for me while I'm out on the road. She's my beacon. She keeps me pointed where I need to go. Oh, that's back. Yeah, there's a reason she waits for me while I'm out on the road. She's my beacon. She keeps me pointed where I need to go. That's right back home. Beat up old guitar, pen and paper. The only way that I know how to show this heart beats in me. This I may not be. I hope I'm getting better as I go. Yeah, and I hope you're listening, baby. I love you more every day. I hope I'm getting better as I go. Oh, yes, sir.
Yeah, man, dude, I love that, man.
Thank you, man.
There's a lot of that Don feel to it.
You know, it's just something about that music with that old scratch band, you know, the way they produced it, just simple. just all about feeling. Of course, I sing down in that register, man. That's one of the things I got from my mom. This deep voice. So
In the beard, or that?
That's right, man. She taught me how to shave too.
Man, you're right though, man. Those old records, especially Don, he just had a way of his voice, your voice. It's like you can listen to those albums.
Yeah.
Just
well, it was not only his voice alone sounded like a big warm blanket,
Yeah.
But it was also the way they recorded. A lot of that analog was so warm, so it was just it was just a nice combination of good qualities,
Yeah, all mixed together.
That's right.
Man, hey, so I didn't realize until this week when I was looking up some stuff, but I didn't realize you were signed to your first deal when you got to town was Warner.
Yeah.
That's where
we could have been label mates, man.
We were so close. We could have had Ray the duo, but Dan and Shay came in and
I signed with Warner back in '04, and I had a hit with them in '05, and I was on the label for I guess maybe 3 years, maybe close to 4. I was one of those guys that kind of didn't make the regime change. I had a new guy come in at the time. Shit happens.
Yeah.
but it was a good experience in the sense that they let me make the record I wanted to make. They put it out there. I had a top 40. It gave it started my career. So I've been independent ever since. But that little jump start with them, has actually helped me out quite a bit.
Yeah. Where's man back? So whenever you moved to town, because you're a great songwriter, great artist. When you say your influences, were you able to get to know any of those guys? That get to know any of them, and any guys that when you came to town was like, what was like your first like artist that you kind of looked up to them, like hit it off? And
I was, I was never really able to kind of get to know many of them. I met Waylon Jennings. I met Willie. I met Merle. I met, I met some old songwriters I was a big fan of. It's funny. I'm one of those guys that people say maybe I was born 20 years too late or something. Because I kind of fall between a lot of stuff. Like I said, my debut album came out in '05. I was in my early 30s at that point. So. From a stylistic standpoint, I've always kind of been the odd guy out, so all the guys that I looked up to the most were kind of, sort of on the flip side, not really in the big part of the mainstream at the time when I got to town. I've been able to, you were talking about David Lee, man. I used to write with him some years ago, and I know him pretty well. No, it was a lot of songwriters that I met over the years that made a big difference, and some of the guys that were kind of part of all that happened before that. A lot of folks that knew Waylon and Willie. I got my first little foot in the door. Buddy Cannon and Nora Wilson, God rest Nora's soul. They kind of got my foot in the door. They Cuff Rose Music at the time before Sony bought them. And that was my first little developmental deal. I'm sitting there watching people like Dean Dillon and Skip Ewing and all these guys. I'm green as a gourd, but I was watching those guys kind of do it like it was supposed to be done. And, I just sort of sat around and watched. And, I've one of my biggest faux pas in this career, if I could pick something, is just that I didn't. Now, I've always been a little bit of a loner. I do a lot of writing alone, and I never was somebody that was really great at networking or going out and sort of, playing a game of golf. And so I met a lot of the guys over the years. I've admired them from a distance, kind of. I've never really gotten into the thick of it with a lot of people, and that's just been my path. It hadn't made much difference in the work that I do. It probably just makes a little bit of a difference in who gets to hear it, because it's a politics game, and I probably learned that a little bit too late.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I think that one good thing, and one thing I've always been a fan of with you, dude, is you've always stayed true to who you know who you were when you moved to town. You know what I mean? Like you knew the music you wanted to make, And I grew up a lot like you on my family's band, growing up with them, playing my grandpa's band. You know, it was Porter Wagner, Ray Price, Bobby Fair, John Conley, Roy Acuff. Those, that's what I learned, and that's what I learned guitar on. That's what I learned music, singing and all that stuff on was those songs. And so a lot of when I got to like middle school and high school, that's what I was listening to. So while everybody else was buying Limp Bizkit CDs, I was trying to show them, Gene Watson greatest hits records in the back of the bus. But I've always respected the hell out of you for that. And just we're making this record, and it's that's something that I pull from while you're making records is guys like you, artists like you that stayed. Always just knew exactly what they wanted to say and sing, and I think
you got any steel guitar on that thing?
On what's that?
On your record.
Do I got steel?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I do, and fiddle.
Good.
Yes,
just
sir.
making sure, man.
Yes,
that's a question I like to ask guys,
Yeah.
It's funny, man. I say that, but this new record I'm making, there's going to be, there'll be 2 or 3 on there that may not have, they may not be covered with steel so much.
Yeah.
So, after a while, you just kind of get to a point where you like to improvise and just, see what else you might be able to do. But, it's funny to hear you talk about your background. I grew up on that same stuff. My dad is this really kind of smooth, he's got this smooth country voice. I used to hear him play those old Jim Reeves songs. He'd do all the Waylon and Willie and all that stuff too, but it was always hearing my dad sing those songs.
Yeah.
That was my example. So, I probably didn't hear the original versions of those songs initially. I heard him singing them because cool. As a kid, I was a little rebellious. My first band was a rock band, believe it or not.
You had a rock band?
Yeah, man. It was back when all that Seattle stuff was real popular.
Oh, okay.
And, I had a low voice like Eddie Vedder, so we figured we'd do something like that. But yeah, once I got to doing a lot more songwriting, you realize kind of where your abilities and your sensibilities lie. When it comes to what comes natural. So, but yeah, my dad told me I played him some of that early rock stuff that I was writing way back. My dad said, "Yeah, it's pretty good, boy. You'll come back to country one of these days." And he was right. Yeah.
Anytime I try to learn anything new, my dad and them would just yell. So I never went in the rock route or anything else. They just wouldn't allow it.
Well, hey man, that's good on them. Good on them. Yeah. It sounds like you got a pretty firm base. So a lot of the guys and stuff I hear today, obviously, man, we're all a product of what we listen to, what influences us. And man, I'll be honest with you, man. As country as I am, I'm just as heavily influenced by AC/DC as I am, Waylon Jennings. So, so we all kind of have that in us. It just kind of depends on who you are as to how it comes out.
Right. So we're gonna. Lana just said, "Sing something from your rock band, Eric."
You don't want to hear any of that stuff. Oh Lord.
Well, man, we got some requests. These comments are flying in. I'm trying to keep up with them, but those jeans, I believe, is the yes. But 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's funny, and I'll quickly kind of give you this little tidbit. My Kind of Music was a song that was a hit for me back in '05. That's the one that kind of kicked my career off. But those jeans came along about probably it's been 9 or 10 years ago now, or maybe 8. I don't know, something like that. But so I had an old supporter in John Marks from my earlier days. John used to be out in San Diego he worked for K-Son, I think, and so he remembered me from then, and we took him that song. Dude, at the time I had no money. We spent no money recording it. I had no promo dollars, no nothing. I just said, you know what, I'm going to take this. We're going to play it for John Marks, see what he thinks. And John thought it was a hit, and he made it what they call a highway find. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
A lot of you folks do too. So So they played this song, and it did real well for me. And for a guy who was independent and didn't spend any money on it, man, we sold a few 100,000 of those things. So, and this was right before streaming took over, so I actually made iTunes money. You know,
so you sold. Yeah. Big difference nowadays.
Heck yeah, well, it goes like this. I was on HonkyTonk Tuesdays talking to this girl. Every hound dog in the joint was sniffing around her. I was playing it slow and cool, being the gentleman y'all know I am. Well, then this Guido with long, black, slick back hair. He walked up to her like I wasn't even standing there. He looked her up and down and cocked his eyebrow and he said, "Baby, damn, how do you get in those jeans? Mercy, you looking fine. How do you get in those jeans, baby? Tell me, how do I?" She looked at him and smiled and said, "I thought you'd never ask." He looked at me and said, "That's how it's done, son, just like that." Well, I wanted to be mad at him. To tell you the truth, hell, I was really kind of impressed. He said, "You might get slapped 9 times out of 10. There's always one that wants a no bullshit kind of man." So I walked up to the next girl I saw that wasn't wearing a dress. And y'all know what I said. How do you get in those jeans? Mercy, you looking fine. How do you get in those jeans, baby? Tell me, how do I?" So this is. Well, I woke up later in a hospital bed. Half-pound of gauze wrapped around my sore head. Some of my teeth were gone, and I was drinking mashed taters through a straw. It turns out the girl I propositioned was a man. With a chip on his shoulder and a blunt object in his hand, who proceeded to express his disapproval of the lines that I crossed. They told me I could leave, so I put my clothes back on. Stumbled past the waiting room, just minding my own. Then this overnourished night nurse from out of nowhere comes up to me. She says, "Excuse me, Ray, but how do you get in those jeans? Mercy, you looking fine. How do you get in those jeans, baby? Tell me, how do I?" But I didn't need to ride home after all. Don't judge me now.
Yeah.
There you go, man. That's about the goofiest song to come out in the last 10 years, I imagine.
I don't know. I've heard some.
It's no donkey. I mean, you know. That's all right. I would tell Jared that to his face.
Yeah, well,
he wasn't trying to reinvent the wheel with that. No, but you know, sometimes, man, you know, hey, I grew up loving Roger Miller and Jerry Reed, and you know, I love those comical songs, man. If you got something that's different, you know, I always knew that, you know, it could set you apart. And I knew as an independent artist that, you know, hey, that might not be something. If I was with Warner Brothers, at the time, I guarantee you, Chris Lacey would not have let me cut that song. No way in hell. And you can tell I said that. But but it was one of those things where I thought, well, hey, I got nothing to lose here.
Right.
I make all the decisions. I answer to nobody but me. So we recorded that thing, and luckily we caught a little bit of lightning in a bottle with it. So,
man, so many great songs have came about, because of those highway fines and that whole program that they have, and I think it's great, man. I think it's so cool now in a way that we have ways where you can get your music out there, and there's people that are wanting to go and discover independent artists, discover new acts, discover, just they're it's like the fans are discovering all these new artists, as they go, because of all these different platforms that we have now. So as crazy as it is, it's gives everybody a big playing field,
Yeah, it does, and it gives a lot of us an opportunity to get something out there that, we wouldn't have had 20 years ago, man. The big labels and big radio used to kind of control it all. They would more or less sort of dictate what everybody heard. These days, folks know, a lot of different places to look, and thank the good Lord above for that, man. Because it enables a guy like me to run up and down the road and play shows and make records and make a living at it. So as my grandpa used to say, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Anything else been happening during this time, man? I know you're working on live stream, new record, or new music.
Yeah, man. I mean, aside from that, I'm working on a new gut. I got a big gut going here. It's between the beer and the bovine. No, it's funny, man. I tell people, that I've gained a quarter ton since all this kind of started off. I probably since March, I bet 10, 15 pounds at least, man.
I think all of us have put on the 2020 15. It's like the freshman 15 in college, but during
I hit that and kept right on trucking, man. When you're older too, man, it's tougher to get it off. I mean, you can probably go to the gym and work out for a week and you're good,
I don't know.
I go to the gym and they snicker, you know what I mean? So,
I don't know what just happened here. I just got cut. There you are. Okay, my computer just had a glitch. I don't know what happened. My thing's been, I normally have been big on like sleeping in. I've never really been big on that until quarantine. Now I've discovered that I don't have a problem with it at all, actually.
Man, that's always fun to do. It's funny though. I'll sleep late, but I don't stay up late either, though. And sometimes I take naps.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm pretty damn motivated.
Yeah, who's some of the artists? Or I know you write a lot. You were saying you write a lot on your own. What is that something that you've always felt like easy to do with you, or is that something that you wanted to make sure that you hone that craft of being able to write songs by yourself? That's a hard thing to do.
A little bit of both, to be honest. I mean, I've done the co-writing thing in Nashville. I've had a few cuts on other artists over the years. It's been a while now because I haven't really pitched anything to anybody in a while.
Mm-hmm.
But writing by myself kind of, I'm not going to say it came easy to me. It came naturally to me, though. And so, if I could get on the trail of something, I could usually, pretty much tell the whole story. I mean, most of the songs that I've had that have been popular at all were honestly written by myself, aside from a couple. But, and a lot of this new record that I'm doing, I know at least half of it is self-written. And I've always felt like if you have the ability to do that, you should. I mean, it's
absolutely,
when you do that, it's only your vision. It's not, it's not watered down by anybody else's take. And not that it would be watered down.
Right.
But, it's completely original to you. I know, and I'm sure you being in town for a while now, you realize sometimes you can go into a co-writing situation and you might leave there with a song, but you might also feel like you might have wasted a good idea for a song that didn't turn out the way you wanted it to. So, so I had those days too. And honestly, man, I was one of those guys, and I still am a guy who I'll get an idea and I will finish the thing before I have a chance to call my buddy Tommy or somebody up to say, hey, man, I got an idea.
Yeah.
It just sort of finishes itself a lot of times. And when that happens, I run with it. I mean, the biggest disadvantage to that in town, especially if you want other people to record your songs, is obviously, the more co-writers that are on the song, potentially the more publishers that have the song or piece of it. So you got more people running with it to see if they can get somebody else to record it. When you write it by yourself and you don't write for a publisher, I own my own publishing. It's a little tougher for me to get a song to certain people,
Right.
Because hey, the pie is what it is these days, and folks like to do things in house, and I can't fault them for that because that's exactly what I do. So,
Right.
So I mean, you roll the dice and you hope for the best. I got a handful of songs I think are very recordable by some other artists if I could get them to them.
Yeah.
But but at the end of the day, man, I kind of have this live and die by my own sword attitude, and I feel like the legacy of what I leave behind as a writer is not going to be questioned. Some people are going to like it, some people might not, but that's life. So
Yeah. Ford and Chevys, right?
exactly, man. And I got a Toyota.
Okay.
And my wife's got a Honda. my wife drives a truck though. Yeah.
Oh, well, you gotta make sure she's protected and has a better up stuff.
Oh yeah, well she's the one that's always going to Lowe's, man. I'm telling you, she's probably building a tractor right now. She was out staining the deck earlier today. She's kind of a badass in that way.
Yeah, I was about to say, you married a badass a working woman.
Yeah, I mean, she, I don't know what happened, but she's a hell of a man. I'm telling you.
That's great, man. For anybody watching, is there any is there any shows you got coming up? Any places? Anywhere people come see, or are you done for the year like the rest of us, or you got?
Well, no, I got stuff happening. Matter of fact, we're kind of cranking up here. Next week, later this week, Friday night, I'm going to be at a place called the Law Office Pub. It's a place that's owned by lawyers. It's in Yorkville, Illinois. Really cool little venue. It's an acoustic show. That's this Friday night. Next week, I'm down in Texas. If anybody wants to check me out, go to rayscott.com, look at my tour page. Everything pops up there. I've got my the official Ray Scott page on Facebook too. And we do, like I was saying, we do Rave in the Cave every week. It's usually at 7 p.m. Normally on Wednesdays. We're going to do it tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. For anybody who wants to catch that, we always have a good time with that. But I'm on Instagram at Ray Scott Music, Twitter at Reality Check, if anybody ever goes to Twitter. But yeah, so I'm kind of all over the place. If you can't find me, it's just because you ain't trying, man.
You ain't looking.
If you ain't looking for me, you ain't no country music fan, man.
Oh, that's so good.
To quote the great Joe Biden, I just twisted it up a little bit.
I
got an earbud right here,
man. Oh man, what a time! What a time!
Yeah.
Well, man, I really appreciate you doing this, man. I cannot thank you enough, man. And y'all make sure to tune in tomorrow night at 7. And I got to ask for just one more song, right? If we could get one more.
All right, absolutely, Michael. And like I tell my mom, thanks for having me.
Bro, if I'm just saying, I think we can make Ray Scott Zany's comedy show work.
Oh man, it's funny. When I met my wife a few years ago, she told me she had a foot fetish. Asked her how she felt about half a foot.
If my dad's watching this, he's using that right now. I promise.
You know, this is a funny thing, man. I love Rodney Dangerfield. The guy cracked me up, you know.
Yeah.
And when I thought of that joke, I thought, man, that would be perfect for him. But, anyway, I'm gonna do this song. I'm gonna change the tone a little bit. This is one of my proudest writes, and I did write this with my friend Mark Stephen Jones. But I wrote this after I got divorced a few years back. This was also played quite a bit on the highway, so some of you folks may remember this. But it goes like this. Well, I ain't no bad guy lately. It's feeling that way. Last night I passed out with my boots on. Oh, it's cold, lonely bed that I've made. I ain't always in love when I make love. Sometimes I don't feel a thing. I ain't all hurt when I medicate. I ain't always thirsty when I drink. Y'all, it ain't like I woke up this morning. Oh, baby, I'd be drunk by noon. Pouring my heart out to a bunch of Facebook strangers. All about the reason I ain't still with you. I ain't always in love when I make love. Sometimes I don't feel a thing. I ain't often hurt when I medicate. I ain't always thirsty when I drink. Oh, no, I ain't always in love when I make love. Sometimes I don't feel a thing. I ain't often hurt when I medicate. No, ain't always thirsty when I drink. No, I ain't always thirsty when I drink. No, I ain't.
Dude, I gotta tell you, brother, that song, when you started, I was like, when you said you heard it a lot on the highway, I was like, please play that song. That was a song, man, that I remember when I first got my pub deal over at Warner Chapel, and that song came on, and I remember going to a ride. I can't remember who we were riding with, but I was just like, man, have you heard this? Like, such a great, I love those heartbreak, just sad country songs, man. And I just, thanks for writing that, man. That's a hell of a song, man. I've loved that song since I heard it on the highway.
Well, dude, I appreciate it. You know, they say a happy songwriter is a crappy songwriter. So, honestly, man, sometimes when you're at your lowest, that's where some of the magic comes from. And I came in that morning with that whole chorus already written, and me and Mark just sort of hashed it out. I bet it took 30 minutes, maybe. Well, if you keep doing it, some of those just fall out sometimes, thankfully. But
Sure.
it ain't for any lack of pain, man. But I think that's why people relate to this stuff is because yeah, at least with me, years ago, I'd listen to country music, man, and I'd realize, man, everybody else is just as effed up as I am.
Yeah, yeah. That's why we're one big effed up family together. You know what I mean?
That's right, man. That's right. Well, hey, I appreciate it, man. And hey, if you ever want to write a song, you let me know, man.
I'd love to do it, man. I appreciate your time, man. Tell your wife we said hey, and y'all be safe, brother, and be safe on the road. And I will see you soon, my man.
All right, we'll do, bro. Have a good one.
You too. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Give it up one more time for my buddy Ray Scott. Y'all don't forget to tune in tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. We are everybody's loving that song. That's awesome. We are getting our guests ready for next week, and I cannot wait for y'all to see who we got. Really looking forward to it. Hope y'all have a great week. Thank y'all so much for all the love of Whiskey and Rain. First week was so big. Y'all keep spreading the word. Play it. Tag me. Let me know that y'all are jamming to it so I can repost it and show some love. So y'all be safe out there. Love one another. And I will see y'all next Tuesday afternoon.